Hello, and welcome to Year of the Vampire. This week we watched Vampire in Vegas.
Yeah, this was your fault. I don't think this is actually going to be a long one. There is not really much to say about this movie, and not because it's like last week's movie where it's a movie that we think you should experience. Nobody should experience this movie.
Unfortunately.
All right, so plot. Tony Todd is a vampire, and he wants to go outside.
So he's trying to find a serum to make it so he can be in the sun.
Hey, he hired a gene scientist to do it.
Genetics lady. Anyways, the other half of this plot is some dude's about to get married. Two of his friends decide to take him to a strip club in Las Vegas, which I guarantee is nowhere near Las Vegas the way it looked. But that's literally the whole movie.
Like, Vegas has... other than them going to Vegas... I don't think Vegas actually has anything to do with the movie. It never actually looks like they're in Vegas.
No, like...
other than, like, some establishing shots.
Yeah, like, some of the parts where they're, like, driving, and I don't even think... It looks like stock footage.
Yeah, because it doesn't show any of the characters.
No, and you never see them walking around any of those areas. It's just, like, quick, like, camera movements of the lit-up areas in Vegas, and that's it. Most of it takes place in this dingy... strip club, some large manor, and one scene out in the desert.
There was the whole thing about Tony Todd's character, Sylvian, I think, wanting to become governor and then president. Oh, and there was also that thing about, I guess they had one of the police officers that worked for them, but none of that actually really went anywhere or was even important at all.
Please, that agent whose name I can't remember had a very cool bow tie.
No, not him. The dude with the goatee. The one that the vampire chick shot in the car. He was working for them.
Oh, yeah.
Even though in one of the scenes earlier, Tony Todd's character said to just go to the police station, get the serum, and kill everyone. But they didn't do that. They just had their inside guy steal it for them.
Yeah.
I guess they decided to do something else because they probably just didn't have the budget or enough actors. Anyway, acting, speaking of...
It was cheesy.
I was just going to say bad. Like, I thought Tony Todd was the best actor in the movie.
He stole the scenes he was in.
Well, I don't think he even did all that great.
No, it kind of felt like they really didn't have a good script, and he just kind of did the best he could with what he got, which wasn't a lot.
No, it really wasn't.
Weirdly enough, the opening scene with him with that really gory body was probably like the best looking part. That body was just in pieces. Like nothing looked as good as that shot, which is weird.
Sound and music.
There was barely any music.
And everything other than that like kind of sensual R&B song at the beginning, every other song you hear is just generic royalty-free house music. So if you're a fan of generic royalty-free house music, you will love that.
Yeah, you get like 30 minutes of and that's it.
It literally is just that. It's horrible. Cinematography.
It's average.
The opening scene again is probably the best part because that was interesting. Like how he kind of goes on the scene when he's like going down those the stairs or the hallway or whatever it is with the lit candles and stuff.
I honestly feel they probably spent most of this low-budget film's money on Tony Todd and probably just that first scene.
Wait, hold up. Completely forgot. The sound and music. We also didn't mention that the microphones kept clipping through the entire movie.
Okay, yeah, during the spoken parts.
Sometimes even when they were just talking.
Yeah, but like, especially on the parts where they're getting louder is very noticeable. You could hear it really badly.
Yeah. And yeah, cinematography, there wasn't really anything interesting that they did. They just filmed characters in places doing things, so...
I was about to say, most of it was, yeah, it's just a lot of them standing around and talking, and then sometimes vampire shit happened.
Special effects.
There's very little of it.
The special effects that are there are freaking horrible. Why did they sprout wings if they just teleport?
Okay, thank you for bringing it up. That was probably some of the few CG parts that actually happened, and I don't know.
It didn't make sense. Like, they CG'd wings onto the
lift
character.
their arms and they had wings, and then they just disappeared.
Yeah, like, that's not... You don't need wings to just disappear. You can just do that. I don't think anyone ever told them.
The rest of it was mostly practical effects by the looks of it, but it was...
And the wings never seemed
very
like they
minimal.
were actually big. They'd have actually been big enough to carry full-sized humans anyway.
No, it basically looks like how someone would look if they put a towel over their shoulders and just lifted it up with their hands.
Well, that was Tony Todd's, because he had that coat with the red like mantle over his shoulders for some fucking
at least
reason.
he had a freaking cape. And
It was
he
it was a mantle, not a cape. It only
mantle?
went, it only went to his shoulders.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was a trench coat that he had.
Yeah. Also, he had some weird quick movement that was also CG'd in, which again just
Looked weird.
That was one of the only times they did it, and it was.
Oh yeah,
really
and when he
strange
was supposed
looking.
to not show up on the frickin' security camera, they just like put some blurring effect over him specifically. But I could still, you could still tell it was Tony Todd.
You know, they should have tried to have it like
he or she. It's like, no, you can tell it's a dude.
They should have tried to like reenact the scene just with people reacting to him not being there. That probably would have been a lot easier to make it look more convincing.
But then it goes back to the idea that if a vampire's wearing clothes, would the clothes be invisible? Because I don't think they would be.
Yeah,
Because you're a vampire.
Yeah,
Your clothes aren't a vampire.
I see that a lot in things, especially like in invisibility for powers.
That's because the clothes being invisible doesn't make sense. Your clothes aren't a vampire and don't have the superpowers. The only
It does not share your genetic structures.
I mean, it does. I mean, they explain it in a similar way in Fantastic Four, where their outfits are like meant to like link with their powers.
Yeah, because it got hit with like the same.
No, like they were designed to do that. Like Reed Richards made their costumes.
Oh, okay.
And he made them to like work with their powers somehow. I don't know. I'm not a comic book scientist. Actually, we talked about this more than I thought we were going to.
Anyways, what did you think of the movie?
I already told you. I thought it was really fucking bad.
It wasn't very good, unfortunately.